They robbed our money and they got rich. We didn't. That is unfair. We also need to get a fair share. That's what people are asking for. What we want to do is to have a process that will happen. You can take whoever you want to pick up and throw him or her in jail. But that is not good governance. We came promising to do. People who were benefiting tremendously from the previous regime's corrupt practices in the financial markets are now ganging up also to do whatever they can to bring us down so they can go back to their merry ways. Whole project, we said, the way it has been structured with the government of China having freehold access to a large section of that man-made island would be discontinued with the way it had been then structured. And we are not moving away from that position. We are going to plug this country to the world. We will become a player in the global marketplace. We will say it openly. That is the only way we can sustainably take this country forward.
Doctor, to start off with, you being a vociferous critic of the previous regime and corruption and allegations regarding them, don't you feel there's manifest something wrong when one dealer gets 5 billion worth of bonds? It's allocated to one primary dealer.
Well, due process. You're a lawyer, Hafiz. You should know that always what Yahapalane is due process. Whether it is an appointment made by us, an appointment made by someone else, transaction that happened post January 8 or pre-January 8. That is why people are finding it a bit frustrating when I walk in my electorate in Kotte. 80% of the households ask me, Harsha, why haven't you put people behind bars? I said it is not for the lack of ability. Send 2-3 fellows with guns and you can take whoever you want to pick up and throw him or her in jail. But that is not good governance. That is not the Yahapalane we came promising to do. So, due process is fundamental that we have to follow. So, you may say A or B has done wrong, but we have to have evidence so that we can prove, or an independent judiciary can prove, or in an independent judiciary, lawyers can prove that A or B has actually done wrong. So, it looks a bit odd, it certainly does, and I'm not trying to cover up anyone, because I was one of the, like you said, the most vociferous critics, and I have particularly criticized the person who is being accused of benefiting from inside information in this particular case.
Who is that?
I mean, we all know we're talking about Arjuna Aloysius. And in a previous case, I was very, very critical. And to me, justice has to be done and for the masses perceived to have been done. I may be here today, I may not be here tomorrow. It doesn't matter to me, because I have come here with a promise to the people, and I will deliver on that promise to the people.
As a person who was speaking, at the time when you made these allegations against the NTP, the Finance fiasco or the EPF ETFs, there was no due process followed. So isn't it justified that there is a cry among the masses or among the press that there has to be some sort of action taken by this Yahapalane government against what is perceived to be some sort of bias?
Just because, oh well, let me rephrase. Two bads don't make a right. Just because you do something wrong, I can't do the same thing in the same way the wrong way and say, look, because they did wrong, why can't I do wrong? That is not what I or nor this government believes in. Due process is due process. And that is why whether it is Malvira answer or whether it is someone else, due process is taking place. So there have been questioned, investigations are being done, bank accounts are being sifted through, and there will come a particular point in this process that the Attorney General would be able to file action with solid hope of a conviction. And with an independent judiciary, there should be no doubt that the wrongdoers will be dealt with the maximum force in the law.
Right. Doctor, with regard to this bond issue here, and Harsha de Silva, that has come up recently. You said that there was one man complaint, but now the government said there was one man complaint. Now there is a three-man complaint. Actually, what's the status of this investigation, as far as you know?
I'll tell you, when this happened, or when we first heard about these allegations, myself and Prime Minister discussed this matter. I said, sir, we have to find out what happened, because even though it is not an issue that impacts the masses, people don't really know. This is more of a Colombo-centric kind of thing. And I will tell you, there are people behind this trying to make life difficult for this government. There are many people. Right? We are on a very uneasy wicket. Right? Forces that are working together, people who are in the past benefiting tremendously from the previous regime's corrupt practices in the financial markets. I am telling you, corrupt practices in the financial markets, who benefited are now ganging up also to do whatever they can to bring us down so they can go back to their merry ways. We discussed this, and immediately it was decided we are going to look into this. The material of the persons against whom these various allegations have been made. That gives them the opportunity to clear their name if nothing has taken place that is outside the proper process. And if somebody has done something outside the proper process, then they will have to pay. So the status of this whole issue is that we have appointed 3 lawyers and we have framed the terms of reference, what to look for, and we will also have expert analysts to look at all the complex analysis that one needs to look at in order to sift through all the material, because this is not something that any person would be able to figure out. And we have instructed the panel to come back with its report as soon as possible. And once that comes, we will deal with it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you should bring it up, Doctor. So, but what is the time frame? What does as soon as possible? What is the definite time frame? Because I'm talking with reference to the previous regime. Every issue, there was a presidential commission appointed, and we never saw those reports, nor did we see the outcome of those reports. Will this also be one such media blitz, which would suddenly die a natural death?
I have brought out much bigger scandals during the previous regime in the stock market, EPF, bond markets, but never, ever did they appoint even a commission, right? Let alone, bringing culprits to book. When I remember when the trade unions, 11 trade unions filed that case in the Supreme Court, fundamental rights case. It was just thrown out. You know, the Chief Justice who was perpetually appointed and now no longer there, had asked, and they told me, the trade unions, what do you people know about the stock market? How dare you? Are those people, not eligible to ask questions? It is their money. The Employees Provident Fund is the money of the hardworking people of this country. It was all the trade unions that got together, right, without bias by political party. Thrown away. When the previous governor continued to violate the code of conduct of the EPF and engage in all manner of transactions in the stock market that led to allegations upon allegation upon allegation of absolutely corrupt deals in the market. Did they ever appoint a committee? Did they even acknowledge that there was a single issue of illegal or allegedly illegal activity, market manipulation going on? No, I feel they never did. Right? So now we have, in the first instance, that somebody has made even an unsubstantiated allegation, we have had the courage and the strength to go ahead and appoint a committee to look into it. That's the best we can do, and we have done that.
But when will we get a report? When will we see an outcome?
Yeah, I mean, let them meet first. I mean, this is not, the allegation is not a simple, in financial markets. A lot of people don't even understand how bond markets work. What is a private placement? What is a bond auction? How do people bid, right? What difference does it make if you move from placing bonds privately to auctioning? How does that help the government in lowering or increasing, adversely impacting the government's budgetary process? This is a complex matter. How does interest rates impact on exchange rates? And what is the objective of exchange rates? Can we let the rupee depreciate? If you want to hold the rupee, what should happen to interest rates? So it is not a black and white yes or no answer here, Hafid, because as a government we have broad macro stability objectives that we need to meet, right? So on the one hand, if there is pressure on the currency, what do we have to do in order to ease that pressure? If our foreign exchange reserves are falling, we need to hold it by increasing interest rates. So one can argue. So then what is the problem in raising rates by, I just have the yield curve for today on the bonds going from 3 months to 30 years, right? So the yield curve has already gone up by about 100 basis points, right? One can argue that, look, interest rates have gone up, but on the other hand, to manage exchange rates, should the interest rates not go up? So this is not, I'm telling you, a clear-cut thing. But whether there was any exchange of information outside the appropriate channels is a specific issue that will be looked into, and they will get to that soon enough.
As a person, do you believe that it is right for the governor to temporarily step down until he is clear? Or do you think he should function in his position despite the allegations?
Mr. Arjun Mahendran has been a professional for a long period of time, right? He's worked in the central bank before, he's worked in other government agencies, he's worked in banks overseas, right? If he believes that he needs to step down temporarily, he will do that. because I believe that he is able to make that call. Harsha de Silva or Ranil Wickramasinghe or Sunil Handrunetti or somebody else need not ask him to do that. I mean, let us give professionals that space to be able to make the call. Right? So that is where I draw that line.
Moving on, are you in actually, this is the first time you are in Ghana since you came into politics, I'm assuming. Are you in a spot of bother being the champion of in the opposition? Are you now in a spot of bother as a member of the Ghana?
Yes, I am. I am. I mean, I am doing all what I am doing because I have one objective in life right now. Look, I've done many things on my own. I've made my money the right way. I've served my family, I brought up my kids, I've given them an education, one already finished, the other one I will. I want to serve this country. I live this life only once. I hit 50 this year, right? I think I can serve another good 10 years. I want to do this. And the distractions I don't like. I want to focus. The Prime Minister has given me my dream job as the Deputy Minister under him to plan policy and economic affairs of this country. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. Of course, unless he made it a ministry. So I am focusing on that. Yes, right now I sleep perhaps 4 to 5 hours a day because it is a challenge to deliver on the 100-day promise. And working with the Prime Minister is an absolute challenge, because I say this to others, most people can do one thing at a time. Some can do 2. Rarely a person can do 3. But Prime Minister can do 4 things at a time, which means he only says quarter of the sentence. So I'm supposed to figure out the remaining 3 quarters. That aside, it is a very interesting learning experience for me. And I really want to get down to getting my job done. So already we formed some informal committees. I brought the best brains I believe I can find in this country, young people, to think about competition, think about economic justice, because we are going to create a social market economy in this country. People don't really know what a social market economy is. All what people know is that they want justice. When they ask for the scalps, what they are saying is they robbed our money and they got rich. We didn't. That is unfair. We also need to get a fair share. That's what people are asking for. What we want to do is to have a process that will happen. That within a market framework we can create a vibrant competitive economy that delivers the dividends of growth with political, social and economic justice.
But are you moving beyond the regaining Sri Lanka kind of economic and social policy that the UMP always proposed, Doctor?
Yes, we are moving beyond regaining Sri Lanka. Regaining Sri Lanka was the thinking at the time, right? The world has changed. The financial crisis happened after regaining Sri Lanka, right? And why did that happen? Lack of regulation, cowboy type activity of powerful corporate entities. We are not saying we are moving away from the market mechanism. What we are saying is that we will broaden the receiving pie, right? That there will be, like I said earlier, political, social and economic justice within a market framework.
And why I brought this regaining Sri Lanka example was that, Minister, there is an issue that your economic policy and your social policy are not based on Sri Lankan economic roots. Have you all moved away from that? Have you all come back to your roots? If so, if you can explain to us how.
That's bunkum, no? You know, what is this nonsense about Sri Lankan economic rules? Where are Sri Lankan? You see, I used to be critical of Mr. Basil Rajapaksa's economic program. I didn't believe that you can develop this country by distributing atta packets, right? One day, I was criticizing some of his policies. I was on my feet, and then some people came and sat next to Mr. Rajapaksa on the other side of the aisle. And somebody said, I say, sit down, man, what do you know about Sri Lankan, the Sri Lankan economy, etc., etc. You are wearing a suit and tie. After they finished, I said, have you finished? Yes. These are all the entourage, the retinue of the Basil Rajapaksa brigade. I said, you know, the person who you are paying puja to, this national economic program, can you, yes, he may be wearing a national suit, he may be wearing a sartake. Why don't you ask him what kind of passport he carries? The US passport. So what are you trying to do? You are trying to fool the people. Right? You wear a national and pin a Sri Lanka flag and say, you know, I love Sri Lanka. I am not a cheap politician. Right? I am not going to wear the national just to appeal to the masses and to fool people. I have always worn this. I will always wear this. Right? If people think they don't want to vote for me and the UNP because I wear a tie, so be it. So be it. Right? But we are true to what we are doing. There is no BS. Right? We are calling it as we see it, and we are doing things that will benefit the Sri Lankan people as a whole. Right? We are going to plug this country to the world. We will say it openly. We will become a player in the global marketplace. We will say it openly. That is the only way we can sustainably take this country forward.
Doctor, with regard to this, going to different aspect, this China, the port city, Doctor, what is actually the status? Have we stopped or are we starting renegotiating this? What is the current status of the port city?
Current state of the port city is that it has been suspended because we want to see the licenses and the permits that they have obtained from the various agencies of the state in order to continue with the project. So we have given them time, and let us wait for them to submit these documents. Again, people are saying, right, we are being attacked, that we didn't stop the port city project. What do you want us to do? Go and assault the excavator drivers and throw the Chinese people into the sea and say, look, we are stopping it like cowboys?
No, but the fundamental problem there, isn't it, Doctor, that now see the avant-garde issue. In the end, Mr. Lakshman Kiriyalla came to Parliament and said everything was okay, they had gone through the proper process. Similarly, if the port city also, you all find out that they have gone through the proper process, then the entire basis that you all came to power on is wrong.
No, but then...
Isn't it fraudulent, the basis that you all came to power?
But in the media I saw yesterday that Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa's passport and somebody else's passport has been impounded on this avant-garde matter. So then if everything was okay, why did the independent judiciary impound that gentleman's passport?
No, that's a different issue. Doctor, that's on a B report that was filed by the police. But leaving that aside, my basis is...
B report or whatever report, if everything is okay, then there is no need for the judge to impound a person's passport. No? Is there? So obviously there are issues, and See, let not politicians determine whether they have done something right or wrong. Right? If a person has done wrong, let the judiciary decide. Let non-political entities decide. That is what we want. Right? Mr. X, who is a politician, can't decide whether Mr. Y, who is also a politician, has done right or wrong.
But this is the leader of the house making a statement in parliament. Why I drew parallel was, I'm not trying to bring that up because he's not here. What I'm trying to say is, now if the Port City project, if you all find out in whatever that you all are conducting, that it has been done in proper legal methods, are you all going to go ahead? And if you all do go ahead, does that mean that most of the premises that you all came to power on are false, that you all lied to the people?
Hafiz, we did not say that we will stop the, let's say, the outer circular highway project, because while we agree that some cost components are excessive, we said these are high prices, we will have to bring these prices down. But that is not what we said with the port project. Port project, we said the way it has been structured, this 575 acre project with the government of China having freehold access to a large section of that man-made island, would be discontinued with the way it had been then structured, right? And we are not moving away from that position. Now, I know that the original plan for this port city was much smaller than this, and I also know that the environmental reports that have been obtained, quote unquote, are not anywhere near satisfactory for the project that is now on the drawing boards, right? So this is a different animal altogether. And we said it because we knew that there was something radically wrong with it, and that is what we are trying to go ahead and prove and take necessary action.
And are you comfortable, Doctor, in your position as Deputy Minister?
See, I think it is a relative thing, this comfort. I was very comfortable in opposition, and I'm very comfortable in government also. To me, this is a cycle, you know. Some people are in opposition today, other people are in opposition tomorrow. That's the way it is. That's democracy. We have been in the opposition for a very long time, and the people of this country want us to be in government for the next coming number of years, and we will deliver to them what they are seeking from us.
And are you that confident of winning these elections, Doctor?
Absolutely confident. There's absolutely no problem of us being in government post June or let's say June elections. People wanted the Rajapaksa regime uprooted. People don't really even understand how corrupt that regime really was. Yesterday I saw an invoice for consultancy payments for the extension of the Southern Expressway project. Believe me, 16,900 million rupees, 17 billion rupees for consultancy. I mean, I saw the inside of that temple trees. Look at the way money has been spent. You know, we took over the files from Mr. Basil Rajapaksa's ministry. I have said this before. To renovate a bathing well, they spent 500,000 rupees. 500,000 rupees to renovate a bathing well. Not one, thousands of wells. My point being, you know, money had been robbed left, right and center, right? It is going to take some time for people to really understand, to digest how much was robbed, what the scale of corruption was. This last week, I met with the officials from the STAR program from the World Bank. They came and met me, and I'm working closely with them to recover stolen assets. So it is not going to happen in 100 days, because these are complex robberies that need complex ways to resolve. So it will take some time, but it will happen.
And within these 100 days, Dr. To our reader, who is not a very financial savvy reader, but a politically savvy reader and a listener, within these 100 days, what for the next 50 days, what guarantees can you, as one of the most, again, I say this because I followed you throughout your time as in the opposition, what guarantees are you going to give the people who voted you in and the people who didn't vote for you?
The
people of this country, in the next 50 days.
We have given the citizen real freedom. They're not worried about getting abducted, phones being tapped, or just the ability to speak out and criticize. We are being criticized on a daily basis. The Prime Minister, the President are being criticized, but no one is worried that someone will come and break their legs or shoot their face. It won't happen. Then beyond that, look at the constitutional reforms that are coming, to create a more meaningful democracy. One day, recently, a former cabinet minister said, look, I was only a peon. I had absolutely no say. Look at our operation now. There is always discussion, debate. That gives democracy meaning. Look at what the health, the drugs bill did. The previous regime couldn't bring it in for 10 years. Right? We have done it. Right? Look at what we have done with salaries. Look at what we have done with cost of living reductions. Each household, on average, will see a 3,700 rupee reduction of the cost of living burden already. Look at what we are going to do with the Freedom of Information Bill. Right? Look at how that will help the people of this country to create a vibrant democracy. Right? Look at all the promises that we have fulfilled already. We seem to forget very easily the things that had already happened. Right? We are going to bring the constitutional amendments. I am very, very positive. Right? And I know the people are positive. I can speak of my electorate, a middle class electorate, Kotte. I won that electorate with a majority of just under 10,000 votes. A massive win. You know what? We will win it by even a large majority at the parliamentary election, because people are rallying around us. And yes, there are shortcomings. Yes, I accept we have made a few mistakes here and there. Yes, there have been some questionable transactions. But take this as a whole. Don't lose sight of the woods. That is what we are doing. Look at this in a holistic manner. Haven't we done, right? Haven't we delivered? Come on, let us be true to ourselves. If you think we have not delivered on our promise, don't vote us in. Right? But if you think we have honestly, within the 100 days, tried as hard as we could possibly have tried to deliver, and we have delivered at least part, and then we will deliver in the future, then vote for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.